Welcome to the Hasn't Been 3 Days podcast with your hosts, Justin and BJ. We talk about 3-day-old news, sports, and whatever else we want to talk about. You, the MVP listener, you listen in, you laugh, you might cry, I doubt it, but you might like our takes, you might hate on them, but if you do hate on them, wait 3 days before you let us know. You can let us know your takes by emailing us at the email box, 3dayoldpodcast@gmail.com, and Justin's dog will respond to you. So
I don't have a dog.
Perfect.
Dang,
We'll get back to you shortly.
Too soon. I am upset now. Now I'm going to email the email box along with we're losing something else in this world real quick. We have an interview that we're going to get to. He's in the green room. We're going to get there. But you know what I just read? What? We're going to be losing 2 colors of M&Ms.
Okay.
Are you going to be okay with losing blue and brown?
Well, I heard also that the Mars company is like getting rid of all of the dyes on M&M's, Skittles,
all that stuff.
Starburst or something too. So I don't really care about the M&Ms. I would be upset if we lose colors on the other stuff, though.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
All right.
Did you ever hold on before we get? Maybe we can ask our guest this too. But do you remember when they did the?
Our guest will probably tell us not to eat M&Ms anymore.
That's true.
So anyways, go ahead.
Did you remember when you could vote for the next color of the newest M&M? Did you ever do that? Did you call in and vote for the?
Well, I don't remember, but wasn't blue the one voted in?
It could have been. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
This is a great segue.
This is when I lived in Colorado, so I was a little bit younger tyke at the time.
So yeah. Well, welcome back. This is going to be we're going to take a break after this episode airs. We're going to take a couple weeks off. And so we won't be coming back for a couple weeks, so you guys can get a break from us. But before we do that, we're going to have an amazing guest on tonight. We are going to welcome Lincoln Pearson. Lincoln, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. I think I was really impressed with how professional that intro was.
Which part?
That was way better than I thought. The music was nice, and then I'm actually kind of heartbroken about losing both those colors of M&Ms.
Yeah. So, Lincoln, do you have opinions? Besides you enjoying them, do you like your profession? Does anything that you do in your daily life, like, do you tell people to cut back on like M&Ms or candy of any sorts?
Tongue in cheek, yeah. It's tough. It's not. It's like a cop speeding when he's not on duty.
Yeah,
it's kind of cheating, and so I know. Okay, this is what happened today. Do you guys know what Mambas are, the candy?
Yes.
Boy, I'm in deep. I was at Hy-Vee today, and I bought a bag of them, a huge, humongous bag of them, and I put them. I share a desk with another dentist. We ate half of it this afternoon, and those you can't eat anything worse for your teeth than that. It's the stickiness, the sugar, all that. It's just horrible. So, we all have our things, but it's not fair. So here's what you need to do. If you find yourself in a pinch like that, have it rinse with water. Just do something to get the sticky material off of your teeth, because that's what chews it up. So there's a way, kind of a shortcut around the decay, so you can kind of fight against it a little bit.
Okay.
I like that. A little proactive. I have heard the same thing about mechanics, though. Like, a mechanic doesn't change their own oil in their car. So, like, this is a little bit different. You brush your own teeth, I'm sure, but you still eat candy and eat stuff that can cause issues. So.
You know what I just realized? We didn't properly introduce
No,
Lincoln.
We didn't. We're going way off.
It is like we should have said, welcome, Dr. Lincoln Pearson.
I'm happy to be here.
Yes. So, Lincoln, we are so happy for you to join us. Lincoln is, if you listen to previous episodes, he's the one that saved my tooth a few times. I am a horrible human being about taking care of my teeth. My crown it came off because I was eating too many sticky, I don't even know what I had.
Probably Mambas. They're the best.
I don't know. I think it might have been I think it was saltwater taffy, maybe. I don't remember.
Yeah.
But that's still good. But I mean, it came out when I was chewing gum, but something else did it. I don't know. But no, Lincoln, Lincoln saved me 2 times actually.
Yeah.
It came out twice. Like perfect times, 5 o'clock on a Friday or whatever it was.
Yeah.
No, you're not even open on Fridays. I'm making that all up.
I live at the clinic, so
nah.
Yeah, I'm always there.
So, Lincoln, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Kind of give it away a little bit, being at the dentist office there. But tell us a little bit about yourself, your family, and then you already told us your favorite candy so far. So, what's your least favorite candy?
Okay. Well, I'll answer that one first. I would say black licorice. It just sucks. I mean, it's like you condense NyQuil into a candy. Like it's something like people in the 1800s would be pumped about because their alternative is like eating a mud ball. Like they just didn't have stuff like that. So of course they're gonna like it because they just don't know any better. But anywho, I'm originally from South Central Nebraska. Grew up on a family farm. I hail from Holdridge, Nebraska, thriving population of 5,600 people. Went to a tiny rural country school. Kindergarten through 8th grade, graduated with about 6 kids. In my 8th grade class, it was the best education you can imagine. Like we were praying before meals, saying the Pledge of Allegiance. Like it was legit. Actually, this is how small it was. Was one time I was in 3rd or 4th grade. I have an older and a younger brother, about a year and a half apart apiece. And Dad was planting corn and stuff. And so it was a really busy time of year. And all of a sudden Dad shows up, and 3rd and 4th grade are in the same classroom. Dad shows up. He's like, "Hey, Miss Hasquist, we're way behind. Can I take Lincoln for the rest of the day to, drive the tractor, disc the field ahead of the planter? We got to keep stuff moving." So, "Oh yeah, okay." I'm all 8 years old. And so we get home, and that's what I did. I mean, it was an environment like that. Like it was very ag based, and it was kind of old school. And I look back very fondly on those years. But both of my brothers are back at home farming with mom and dad. My older brother was in the military for 7 to 9 years. He was infantry, deployed a whole bunch, that sort of thing. And so did that route. But yep, after that little country school, went to high school, did that. Nothing eventful. Went to Creighton University, got a good education there. Didn't really know what I wanted to do. I had an exercise science major, kind of thinking pre-health, something along the lines of that. And then ended up farming for 2 years after that, kind of buying time because we had room for 2 of us to farm, not all 3. And older brother was, doing the Army route. Younger brother, he was eventually going to come back and farm. And so we were going to kind of, I just had time. And so did that, loved it, loved every second of it. And then my older brother kind of went through a lot of stuff overseas, and he eventually wanted to come back and do the farming route. So I kind of had to find something else to do. And I was on a medical mission trip in the Dominican Republic. I think we were building houses, that sort of thing. And there was a dentist with us from Holdridge, really great guy, Doug Homan. And he's like, "Why don't you come with me one day?" And so I did. And I know there's no way this could have been legal because I had no experience. I mean, and so I'm kind of an idiot as it is. And so he's this kid's tooth, like this little 8-year-old kid, his tooth was loose. I mean, it was toast. It was shot. I didn't know anything about teeth, and you knew that thing had to come out. He kind of looked at me. He's like, "You want to take her out?" Like, you bet.
He's like, "Here's some pliers."
That's basically what happened. And so it must have not been in there very well. And so he numbed it up, and I just grabbed it and pulled the tooth out. And it was like in that moment. It was this real moment I'll never forget. And he was like, "This is it. This is what you're going to do." And it was kind of not a whole lot, other than just like God just directly kind of making sense of this is where you're supposed to go. Like, well, I don't know anything about teeth. So I've been studying, for the MCAT and other things. And so I just started studying for the DAT. Just felt like that's where I was led, and took a lot of practice tests. And I'm like, oh man, this is just a gamble, and wasn't doing great on them. Then went took the DAT and just killed it. And I don't know, I was kind of affirmation to me that this is the direction God wanted me to go. And so then somehow stumbled my way into dental school at UNMC. But right before I joined UNMC, that would have been in 2016, hometown dentist, there's a couple of them back in Holdridge. One of them reached out. Actually, it was the one that I had gone to growing up. And he's like, "Hey, check out this Army thing." I'm like, "Army? Like, I'm going to go be a dentist." Like, it's kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, it's a really good opportunity. There's only, 5 or 6 dentists in the Army National Guard for Nebraska, and they service the whole, there's 3,300 people in the Nebraska National Guard, and, there's 5-6 slots, and there's one available. You'd be a good fit." I'm like, well, maybe that kind of makes sense to help pay for some dental school, life insurance. And, I absolutely love our country, love America, love everything, the history and just the freedoms we have and all that stuff. And so there's a big history of that in our family too. And, thought a lot about it, and it just all lined up. And I'd always had a heart to serve. And like I said, I love our country. And so, next thing you know, here we go. We're doing that. And so, but what was different, or what's kind of unique, is, I'm going to get a doctorate in dentistry. 0 dental or military experience. And so there's obviously a lot to learn here. And so because I had a college degree and I was going to get a doctorate, you're kind of like, what do we do with this guy? And he's in the National Guard. So what it is you're serving 1 weekend a month, and then you're serving, a week in the summertime. And so it's not like I'm full-time or anything like that, but you still got to know stuff. And so I joined before dental school. And so then they just kind of threw me into doing drill. I don't know how to wear a uniform. I don't know how to march. And they put me in as an officer because I've got a, college degree. And so I tell you what, I felt dumb a lot in my life. But walking on a base the first time as an officer, and there's, people like saluting you and things like that. And I'm just kind of looking around like me. Like there was one time, this is embarrassing. There's this private, he comes up and, I'm fresh as can be. And he hits me with a quick hitter, hits you with the salute. And he's like, "Hello, sir." I look around and I'm so befuddled. This is like day one. I hit him with a left-handed salute, followed it up with, I'm like, oh boy, I screwed up there. So how do I smooth this over? Thinking this over in about half a second. Throw up the peace sign and say, "What's up?"
Oh, jeez. Oh, gosh.
Just is like, what is wrong with this guy? We started down on the bottom of the totem pole there. But so then, after that, I tried to just not be an idiot after that. And, but so then I would start doing these drills during dental school, which was hard to make time to do all that stuff. Long story short, got through dental school. It went great. But then COVID hit. After I graduated, I went down and I did basic training in Fort Sill, Oklahoma. And that was basically what that consists of. It was a direct commission course. It's basically teaching you those things that I didn't learn the first 4 years of how not to be an idiot. they were teaching you basically in that class, but of course COVID was going full steam ahead. And what that effectively turned into was, sitting in a dorm room, trying to learn online the best you could, make the most of that. And then I've had a couple more courses after that, but now I'm a major, and things are going a little bit better. Been in for 10 years now, and I sincerely love it. Love every part of it.
Well, that's awesome. Tell us, when did you and Megan meet?
So that's a good question. You want to know how it happened? So what?
Or where even?
Okay, so Megan, we didn't know each other in high school. Her family farms. Her dad's a vet. She lives south of a town called Minden. She's actually. I thought I went to a small rural country school. I'm like, I've never met anyone who's gone to kindergarten through 8th grade with 6 kids in their class until I met her. She said she went to one of the last one-room schoolhouses in Nebraska. And it was just her and her twin brother were the only 2 in their class in this little town called Macon, south of Minden. That's, down by kind of the Kansas border. She claims she's valedictorian and salutatorian because she did her twin brother Will's homework. So she holds both those titles.
There you go.
So she's a farm girl. She was a sped teacher in Holdridge at the time I was back farming with Dad.
Okay.
And what happened was the story there was my older brother was dating this gal for quite a while, ex-girlfriend, and she stole Megan's phone, and she messaged me off Megan's Facebook Messenger. And so we were down in Savannah at this haunted pub crawl, which was just incredible. Savannah's just the greatest. And so we were in the middle of this, and we look at my phone. Pretty girl says, hi. We spent the next 3 hours trying to figure out what to say back. Lost the tour. It's all gone. It's all over. 3 hours later, we hit her back with, hey. Took 3 hours.
Well, one letter per hour. So you did a good job.
Yeah. So then we started dating before dental school. And then she stayed in top for a couple years. Then we ended up getting married, and that's how it worked out. But yeah, drug her along, and yeah, she settled pretty hard.
Yeah. And you guys have 4 kids, 4 wonderful kids.
Yeah.
They're hilarious. My daughter just loves your kids.
Yeah.
She helps out in the. So yeah, and then kind of remind me real quick before we get in. We're gonna get into some military questions here, probably a little bit. But remind me, what year did you come to Lincoln? Or
so,
like what? And then coming to Connecting Point, that's where we connected at.
Yep. So I started. So it would have been 2016. Is when I was in Lincoln. Meg would come up on the weekends, and we went to Christ Place Church, big, huge church. Went there for a couple years, but, love the church, love everything about it, but it just felt like you were going to an airport. And so then we kind of started church hopping around a little bit, and yeah, there's some kind of weird ones here in Lincoln. Some stuff like I don't know. It was a whole kind of we just kind of randomly would just walk into churches and just see what they're all about. And a couple of times we were lucky; we were the only 2 people standing at the end of the service. It got pretty Pentecostal. People just started dropping like flies, and we were lucky to get out of there. So, which is fine. People worship different, and that's all good. And I came from a small conservative, E-Free church out in the country, and so it was pretty eye opening. But anywho. Someone in dental school said they're on the worship team at this place called Connecting Point, and it was really close to our house at the time. Went in there, and we just felt like we were walking home. It was just like walking in. It was the right place, and that was 2018. So
who would have been in dental school? Who would have been?
It was some dental assistant. She said she was on the worship team. She had black hair. Worked with her once. And I never saw her again. I didn't even know what her name was.
I wonder who that would have been.
Yeah. But it was. I'm sure you would recognize her if you saw her, but I only talked to her one time, and she said, "Hey, check this place out," because we were kind of starting to do the shopping process, and it was just down the street. And boy, we went there once, and they were like, "Yeah, that's it."
Well, it's cool. So a little bit. I mean, you're talking about being. So how long have you? You're a partner at right. You're a partner at Morning Glory Dental. Or
I own it all now.
Okay. So I couldn't remember. I wanted to start it out smaller and then let it build up.
Yeah.
I didn't want to oversell it if I was wrong. So,
yeah.
But yeah. So, has that practice always been named Morning Glory, or did you acquire it as a different name and then changed it?
No, good question. So this ties back to the Army stuff. So during the first couple of years of dental school, my hometown dentist was there, and then about 2 years in, I knew this other dentist right away. So there's about 4 other guys. One of them was Dr. Reiners. He's originally from McCook, basically identical backgrounds. I mean, he's 30 years older than me, and grew up on a farm, same sort of deal, joined the Guard, dental, all that stuff. I mean, it's just eerie how parallel our lives have been, just, generation apart. And so I met him there, and I initially, after dental school, I wanted to go closer to home, closer to my brothers, closer to the farm, closer to, Meg's, family farm and stuff like that too. But I met Reiners, and we hit it off. And I'm like, this guy he's honest, hardworking, like basically all of the attributes that I want to strive for in my life, I see in him. And so we hit it off really well. He invited me out to go climb Long's Peak in Colorado. Have you guys ever done that?
I would say BJ probably has.
Yeah. I got friends that live in Estes Park, and so we get out there, and Long's Peak is one of the primary ones we hit up for sure.
It sucks. It's the worst. Like, why do you wake up at 3 to go climb this mountain? It just is this. Yeah, it's beautiful, but shouldn't you ski down hills instead of climb up them?
Right, exactly.
Like, what are we doing here? This is just dumb.
Thankfully, my buddy.
People, and it's like you look down. It's like that's how people die.
Yeah,
you just take a wrong step, people are dead down there.
Yeah,
you get to that flat part. It's like, what are we doing? We made it to the top. I was kind of pissed. I mean, it was hard. But I'm like, we got to climb all the way down now. This isn't easy. Yeah. And so that wasn't pleasant. So I think he took me on that trip to see, what does this guy have? I mean, I know he's weird. I know he's odd enough to probably be a dentist and can make it through and that sort of thing. And so that was kind of a tipping point in our relationship. And then he's like, hey, why don't you come check this place out? And I did. And it felt like I was, walking home. I knew. And there's been a lot of moments where God has kind of affirmed, this is where you need to be. This is where your home is. I fought him a little bit on it, but then, there's a couple really kind of powerful moments where you're just like, yeah, this is home. And so it was just such a good pairing with Dr. Reiners too. We share a desk, and I knew it was going to go pretty good, just because of his mentorship, and our sense of humors are very similar, can be quite off color. I think it took about 30 seconds before someone farted in front of each other. And that's when you're like, oh, okay, all right, this is going to go. And so then about a year after I graduated in 2020, in 2021, I bought the first half of it. And then it was in 2024, I bought the rest of it. So now there's to be him and another dentist, and then in another month we'll have another dentist. So there'll be 4 of us there, 6 hygienists, 4 assistants, and then 5 gals up front. And so it's good. They don't teach you how to manage people, and they don't teach you how to run a business in dental school. So that's been quite a learning curve.
Yeah, your staff is awesome. I mean, they knew me from nobody. I don't know if just saying your name actually helped me out. Obviously, it probably did because, you run the whole place. But super accommodating. I'll tell you, whatever you do, and continue to have that type of staff that's welcoming and just, they don't get into too much. Hey, what's your they don't like, what's your problem today? It's like, hey, I got this tooth that fell out, and hey, we'll get you back, we'll get you settled, and get you going. So, but yeah, super
I
awesome
appreciate
staff.
that's what drew me to the place. It's like you have staff like this that they don't treat you like you're at Aspen Dental. They're just running cows through the cattle chute. I wanted to go to this place because they treat you like a human, and it's just practical. It's not about making a lot of money. It's just treating people right. We do the best we can. It's hard. Dentistry, it's a hard business to make people happy in because it's expensive. Thank you, insurance companies. It's painful, and it's just people are just generally anxious. No one wants needles in their mouth, scrape stuff around. No one likes that. But it's a hard business to kind of make people, enjoy going there, and that's challenging. But I don't know. I'm weird. I love it.
That's what you told me. I was like, when I came in, I was like, I'm not the best person to take care of my mouth. And you're just like, I just love teeth. You have better teeth than some of the teeth I've seen today, so we're good.
Yeah, the military really sets the bar really low. Like you go in and you like there have been times. So you go the heavy weekends, the drill weekends for the Army are in the winter, and once a year the infantry guys and the cav guys come through. Last year, got a cav guy. I'm not joking. This is a true thing. He just has a hammer of Copenhagen in. I mean, it's just the whole deal. And he looks at me, and he wasn't joking. He said, "Do you want me to try to take my chew out for the day?"
Should I take it out before I start? No, let me work around it. Yeah, I'll just put up a rubber dam and we'll just work around it. Don't worry.
I had to walk out of the room to regain kind of composure. I'm like, what balls? Like that's kudos to him. Like that's just the balls he.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess he was just feeling it out for you to say yes or no. I guess.
How do you play that?
Yeah, I don't. That's interesting. Oh my gosh, that's great. Well, so I would like to know a little bit more about your military background. Part of this, I mean, the United States is coming up on their 250th birthday, and so we're just kind of reaching out, and the people that we know about their military experience. I know how much the United States means to you. I see it all the time in every shirt you wear. I'm actually surprised you're not wearing I mean, every time I see you, you have something on that's United States or a flag or so tell us a little bit about I mean, you kind of got into it about when you joined, but you talked about your brother. What other family members kind of influenced you, or where did the influence of maybe growing up and seeing military in your family? How far does that go back for you?
Good question. I remember when I was really young, mom put in the basement, she put this big framed picture of all of the people in our kind of, extended family that have had military service. And so it goes back to my great grandpa, great uncles, grandpas, brothers, cousins. Like it's everywhere. I mean, there's Navy. My grandpa Gray, he was a navigator over in Vietnam. He took a bullet to the leg. I think some guy popped up from the rice fields and shot up at the plane he was at, and he got a bullet in his foot. He said it wasn't that painful. It wasn't too bad, but I thought that was always a kind of a fun story. And then actually, this is ironic too. My grandpa on the other side, on the farm side. He would have been in, I think he might have been Korean War-ish war timeline, but he ironically was down at Fort Sam Houston and was a dental assistant for a little bit.
Oh, geez.
I mean, the guy's a farmer, born and raised farm. Never
Yeah.
left Phelps County really much at all. And then I can't remember if he joined or got drafted. And but yeah, he ended up going down there on the medical side and became a dental assistant of all things, and came back and farmed for the next 80 years. And lo and behold, 2 generations later, we're doing the teeth thing again. And I don't think he didn't choose to be a dental assistant. That's just kind of like what he was told to do.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, probably the one that's closest to home was my older brother. Yeah, he initially went in as a tanker guy, but then, in his heart, his whole entire life, all into guns. We'd be playing out on the farm in the trees and just playing Army guys all along, always. That's it. He always had to have guns in his hands, whether they're actual guns, hunting, target shooting, that sort of stuff. Like, that's just always was his heart, was to do that and to serve. And he's always been incredibly tough, very strong, always. And so then one of the hardest days of my life up to that point was seeing him leave for basic training. I was a junior in high school, and we were at a football camp, and I left early because he was leaving for basic, and that was brutal. It was so tough. And then, yeah, he did that. That was at Fort Knox, and then he kind of went, did the tanking stuff. Mom and Dad wouldn't let him join infantry because kind of the war on terror was going on, and they're like, no, you're going to get yourself shot. You're going to just charge and storm the bunker, and you're just going to take a bullet to the head and be dead. So they wouldn't let him do that, but sure enough, a couple years later, he did it anyways, and then he went to the infantry route and did all that stuff, and was very good at it. He doesn't talk a whole lot about it and stuff, but I know he was deployed several times, and I think he did his service to the country, and we've had some really great talks with him about it. But I think seeing someone that I look up to so much give so much to the country, I'm incredibly proud of that. But kind of going into that and having a lineage of a family that has served as much. But I did a lot of, for me personally, kind of my personal thing was in college. I did a lot of medical mission trips. I know I want to do something probably in the healthcare field, farming, something like that. I don't know. Didn't really know. But so I went and did, medical mission trips to Belize, Trinidad, the Dominican Republic, Guinea, Africa, Nicaragua, all over the place. Every time I would come back from those trips, I would just have such a heart for our country because I know how everyone else lives. The rest of the world, people don't realize how good we have it here. People are burning trash in the streets and eating beans, and they hardly have running water. They hardly have electricity. And it was so eye-opening. And when you come home and realize the freedoms you have here, the freedoms that have been fought for, people have died for to give us what we have. People don't understand how truly sensational and how truly beautiful that is. And so I just really caught a cog about that. But then the icing on the cake was 2014. The United States was playing in the Winter Olympics, and this would have been my senior year in college. And there was this guy named TJ Oshie, just unbelievable mane of hockey hair, just incredible flow. And the Olympics were in Russia, and the 2014 I don't care about hockey at all, but those guys have balls of steel. They like to fight, and it's just a fascinating game to watch. And they just the patriotism they showed, the beautiful hockey hair. They just went on a heck of a run that year. That's what tipped the ball downhill.
Okay,
That's what it started, and I just was all in. I'm like, I'm all in for this country. I just absolutely love everything about it. And since then, I have just been passionate about the United States of America and that kind of led right into the decision to serving in the Army and that. So that's kind of a long-winded answer, but
That's good.
I'm all
You're
about it.
good.
Lincoln, we had about 6 questions for you on that, and you answered them all without us even asking.
I was going to say,
that's
I'm looking
really
at
good.
we had some questions prepped from our from last week's episode that will be coming out, and so we yeah, you answered like every single one of them. I don't even know. I can't even think of some of the. I mean, I have one that we're going to ask at probably towards the end.
I feel like I've never really done this podcast thing. I don't know if you're supposed to just go on long monologues about that, but you guys are hitting the passion points here. Like I always,
that's what we want.
When I'm with a patient or whatever, you want to figure out what they want to talk about. They don't want to hear me ramble about stuff they don't care about. I want to figure out what their hot button is, what they want to talk about. This is mine. You guys hit mine.
Yeah.
This is it. This
is what we were looking for.
That's
honestly, when we were talking about setting up these episodes around the 4th of July and, the topic of the 250th birthday of the United States this is what we wanted to hear. We wanted to put that in forefront with people that we knew. So
yeah,
as you share your experiences, which are really cool to see your passion and your heart come out in your as you're talking about why you chose to do what you did. But one of the questions we did have, and I just want to follow up with what you said about just your passion and your heart for our country. When you view these holidays that are specific to the military or specific to our country as a whole, and not the made up holidays and all that stuff, but how does that impact you personally, like 4th of July, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, those kind of things? Or what would you have to say to help somebody have a different perspective when it comes to these holidays, to truly be grateful for those that have sacrificed the ultimate cost, but also continued sacrifice for our country? And before I go any further and let you answer that, I just want to say thank you for your service and thank you for what you have given to our country so that we can be free and do a podcast and do anything else because we have that freedom. So, yeah.
Well, I appreciate that, but I feel guilty because what I do is I'm just looking at teeth. I'm just telling soldiers don't chew, stop doing that, and that sort of thing. And so what I'm giving is a knowledge of dentistry in the Nebraska National Guard. And basically, so what happens is all of the soldiers are going through once a year, and they need a dental exam to make sure that they can get deployed. I understand that needs to happen. Someone's got to do it. But what I'm giving is so small compared to what someone like my brother has given, boots on the ground overseas, doing hard things. My grandparents have given, fighting overseas, that sort of stuff. So when I think about Veterans Day, those guys are the heroes. Those guys are the real heroes. I wear a uniform. My job is not hard compared to what they have done, what they have given. And so thinking about those days and being part of the Army, it makes me appreciate that because I get to see more of the hardcore people that have gone out and actually done a lot of tours and things like that. And so I see it from, man, these guys are legit. They're human. They're hardworking and they're sacrificial people. And so those days I have a different perspective of now before I joined the National Guard. But to answer your question, we were coming home from church, and I was talking to Megan. She probably gets so sick of hearing me talk about teeth and USA. She probably's just over it. But we were coming home, and I said, Megan, this time of year, I just can't help but just to get pumped. I just love it. And it's not just about the fact that we're the greatest country to ever exist, but the greatest country to ever exist gives you a day where it's kind of like, yeah, go ahead and blow some stuff up. We're celebrating independence. Laws, if you need to fire on the street, you're celebrating freedom. So it's, let it go.
Yeah.
That's cool. But then secondly is how uniting it is. And I hate how everything now, and I think it's all driven we're going to divide people. We're trying to split people apart. We're trying to rip this country apart. It almost seems like it's set up, designed that way to destroy our country from within. But what makes me so passionate about the 4th of July, this day, is today's a day where it's uniting. We all get to blow up stuff together. We all get to smoke meats together, and we just get to celebrate that we're the greatest country to ever exist. And for a day, you get a taste of unity. We get a taste of we're all on the same team. And that's what I love the most about it. We get to celebrate what we have. The rules don't really apply. You get to eat a lot of junk food and do that sort of stuff. And that's what I love the most about this time of year, is it's just the best.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, that's really cool. I was gonna take it a little bit deeper on you, but I don't know you very well either, but I hear your faith coming through. And I love what you said, because it's true that it's in these moments and in these days where it does bring us a sense of unity when there is so much division and strife, and the fact of everybody has their own opinion, and we have to give you that right. I mean, we all have that right to that opinion. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, where the lines get a little bit muddy in that is when it comes to our faith. And even though we have freedom of religion, there's a lot of Christians that mix that unity and mix that freedom with Christian patriotism or Christian nationalism, which doesn't always go hand in hand. And as a former pastor myself, and you go through all the stuff that you go through the COVID situation and through all the things that divide us as a country, and yet in their Christian faith, where we should have unity, where we should have grace, where we should have love and peace, we get even more so and hyper-focused. From your perspective on that, as somebody who is a proud American and also a Christian, how do you balance out patriotism, nationalism, and your Christian faith in that?
Well, I think the biggest thing is, like, you try not to say stuff that offends people, and you kind of got to read the room a lot of times. But I believe in Jesus, and I love my country. I'm not going to rub it in your face. My goal is to live it out. Yeah. And I don't, if you're going to be upset about that, I'm sorry. I'm not saying it to offend you, but this is what I believe, and this is why. And I shouldn't have to be ashamed of those things. And thankfully, I know that we live in a country where, we don't live in China, and you can be outspoken about that stuff, but you try to do so in a respectful manner. But I'm just not afraid of it anymore. And I think I was probably more so, in high school and in college and stuff like that. And what the other caveat is how do you handle that at work? Being the boss and all that stuff. Like, and that's something I've been kind of struggling with. That is, like, I don't know how do you be professional? How do you try to show Jesus and all of these things? And I think you don't necessarily have to be out front and, like, shoving it in people's face, but people pick up on it, on how you talk and how you act and how you live. They notice that. They pay attention to that more so kind of when you're running the business and stuff. Is they notice these things. Then all of a sudden, conversations slowly start coming up. And I think that's the right way to do it, because I think if you start shoving it down people's throats, I think people, a lot of times, especially now, there's so much thrown at you that they just kind of hold their hands up and they just reject it a lot of times. And so I think when you live a way that's attractive to other people, attractive it is, like peace, love, joy, that sort of thing. Those are attractive attributes. And when you're demonstrating those, when you're showing those things, that people wonder why, and they start asking. And that's kind of how I've handled that. I don't know if that probably didn't answer your question at all.
No, that's great.
Oh, that's one thing. I think I've gotten to know you over the last few years. I mean, we weren't really close. I mean, we haven't really hung out that much, but I've gotten to know you over the last 2 years. That's one thing that I think the first time we ever sat down and talked, it was on the golf course. And that was one thing that just kind of drew to me, is just how real of a person you are. Like, we could just sit and talk about anything, because that does come through with you about, your how real you are, and that, like you said, reading the room, you understand the people around you. I've seen, at church and around other people, you have this way with people. I love it. It's awesome. And so, like I said earlier, I can see that in the people, even though I was only stepped foot twice into your business, but you can pick up on that, and how people treat you. So I would just tell you to keep up that. And you're an awesome dad, husband. That starts coming out, especially in a business, right? When you have people that are around, they see how your family's around. I'm pretty sure that one day I was in there, your daughter came running in. And I was sitting there, and you're like gluing and your daughter just comes in and hangs out. And like that family atmosphere, I think that does come through in what you're saying about the balance of, work life and how that shows through. Like, hey, this could be a place of business, but this could be a place of comfort, and but we're going to do the right things all the time as well. So
it's the kids are over there a fair amount. I want to just expose them to dentistry. Actually, this is kind of fun. I took the kids out for ice cream and we're on the way back. And I was pumped. That seems to be a reoccurring theme, but the kids started asking me about what's inside of a tooth. We'll talk about a softball question.
Yeah.
They got lectured so hard on the way home.
Do you have a large tooth model at home that you can just start taking apart?
Oh yeah. I was locked and loaded. I started getting into enamel and dentin and nerve structure and all. I mean, they gave me about 5 seconds and kind of got glassy eyed, but I was pumped. I was so excited about it. But yeah, they're starting to show an interest in it and stuff. But yeah, it's a weird. Teeth are weird, and I think, and I also think one of the things too is dentists are weird too. That we just are. I mean, you don't go in working on teeth and mouths, and you're not a little bit weird. That's it. I think they look for that in dental school applications. Like, are these guys? Is this guy weird enough to be a dentist? So I passed that pretty easy.
Oh man, you're not weird. You're just the right amount of fun. That's what you are. That's what you are. So, I guess I have one more question to go back about the military. So, and I think you kind of said this, but we're just going to recap it, and we'll finish it off maybe with this, unless BJ has one more thing to add to it if he does. But if there could be one message that if you could write one message to Americans as we celebrate, our 250th, but if there could be one message that you could put in a time capsule or put somewhere that you could give to somebody on our 300th anniversary of our birthday of the United States in 2076, what do you think you would say?
I would say, don't give away what we have. Recognize what we have. Recognize it as special, as unique. Freedom is something that's not found commonly in other parts of the world. I think a lot of people, they've never seen what the rest of the world is like, and they're told about all these problems that we have within our country, but they just have no idea how blessed we are. They have no idea the privileges, the rights, the freedom to do what you want, the freedom to even get to complain about the things that they complain about. You don't get that opportunity elsewhere.
Yeah.
Don't throw it away. Appreciate it. Respect it. And we're all on the same team. Don't split apart over something stupid. We're so blessed, and I just recognize that and truly appreciate it. That's what, anytime you're on social media, it's just like people are just tearing down the other side. I have my opinions, I have my own thoughts, but it breaks my heart just seeing the hate and the animosity. And that's just happened in, it seems like the past 10 years. but it's just getting worse and worse and worse. And that just breaks my heart. But that's just why, like I said earlier, that's why I love the 4th, is it's just a day of we're all celebrating the blessed country that we have. And that's what I would say. I don't know. That might make people mad, but I don't.
I've said worse. Don't worry.
If that makes them mad, they might need to just move to a different country.
Just get out of here. Like, just don't. Like, if you, it's just if you don't love it, just leave it. Get out of here. It just doesn't make sense to complain about it. But those are the people that have never been elsewhere. Those are the people that just don't know.
Yeah. Closed-minded, closed world. You know, I lived in a county in Illinois for 6, almost 7 years of my life, and there were people I literally met that never left the county. And it wasn't a very big county still. And I mean, you talk about some of the things I would love to just talk to you about. I've got ties to your areas of Nebraska as well. And, but yeah, it's just amazing when people are so close-minded to really, to be able to grow and to learn. And like you, even as you've depicted in your own life, you started in farming, then you were like, well, maybe let's try this teeth thing. And it's just, you have a passion for it, but you can hear your heart come through and how you live your life. And that's refreshing for sure.
Yes.
I appreciate that. What are your ties back to Holdridge?
Well, I've got a former in-law that is from the Cozad area, so I've got some connections in Cozad. Lived outside of McCook for a little bit of my own life, and then my parents. I lived in Juanita, Nebraska.
Yeah, Juanita Palisade, way out
Palisade,
there.
Yeah. Yeah. So I got on the good side of, or not really, the bad side of the town cop as I would come visit a girlfriend there. And it was a town of 700 people or whatever it was. And it was crazy.
Were you speeding or what were you doing?
No, I just had an out of county tag and he wanted to be nosy. So yeah. But no, my parents are from Superior, Nebraska. So
all right.
Minden is nearby and all of
Do you know where Macon is? The thriving metropolis of Macon.
I've heard of it. I think I blinked when we went through, but yeah.
Yep. I think there's a church which they have a great Christmas Eve service, and there's about 4 or 5 houses. The Megan's one-room schoolhouse is still there. I think you can sneak in there. I think we snuck in there to check it out one time. But then their family farm is like a mile and a half just straight east of there. So
okay.
Yeah, it's crazy when you were talking and you're telling me from where you're from. You know, it's crazy because Becky's from Axtell.
I know,
like, literally just right there, and like had no clues, that we'd ever ran into each other. I mean, a few years apart. I mean, but still, it's crazy how small the world can really get sometimes, and in that. So, yeah. Well, man, this is awesome. BJ, do you have any other follow up? I mean, he took everything out from all of our questions, and we're
I was definitely rambling there. Like I said earlier, this is odd.
We didn't know what we wanted, but we got what we wanted. Like we didn't know what it was going to be.
Yeah,
and then
that's what I was just going to say. It's I don't want to rain on this parade. You nailed it. You hit a home run, and it's exactly what we were looking for. I would love to have you on again though, and just talk life and business and so much more that we could definitely pick your brain on. So thank you for coming on. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. This is great. Like I said, this is kind of one of the first podcast deals. I'm actually kind of surprised how smooth this whole thing went. I mean, you guys, from the intro, you guys are wearing headsets. Like I thought we were just kind of going to be freeballing this deal. And so this is good. This is really good.
Well, that's why we only show from the head up.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not wearing any pants. Yeah, that's exactly right.
I've got my USA thong on right now. So
that's fair. Jeez.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hot dogs, fireworks, and Speedos. What more can we ask for?
Living the American dream right there.
That's right.
We could add the mullet to it.
The mullet. Yeah. Well, my third kid, number 3, he's got a mullet right now. I mean, it was just a matter of time before. Have you seen it, Justin?
I don't think I
Yeah,
have.
Grant's got a mullet now. I mean, I don't know. It's that time
Dude,
of year.
Grant, trooper, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Man, that's been through a lot. So,
yeah.
But the Lord is good, though.
Absolutely.
That's for sure.
Yes,
yeah.
Absolutely.
So, well, man, this has been awesome. Like I said, we'll have to do this again. We'll get you on. We'll pick your brain about business and something else. But this is awesome hearing about your heart about the United States. This is exactly when I pitched this to BJ. This idea around the 4th, we didn't know where it was going to go, and it's eerily similar to our previous interview about the same topic, kind of the same lines. Older brother looking up, or young, a brother looking up to his older brother, and just the lineage of the family. So it's kind of a cool. How it all pieced together, and so yeah, it's been really awesome. So
yeah, well, thanks for having me, guys. I love it. I'll come back anytime.
Awesome. Well, thank you for joining us, Lincoln, and best of luck in your practice and in your business. And thank you again for your service. And for all of you that are listening, we just really appreciate you spending the time with us this week. We hope you've enjoyed the 4th, and we wish you the best. So we're going to take a little bit of a break, and we'll catch you in a couple of weeks. So take care. Thanks for joining us, and we will see you next time.
See ya.